Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily Cafe Chat. I am Emily, and it is Friday, June 5th. Lisa, I have a question for you to start the morning.
Friday morning question. Bring it on.
When was the last time you opened a drawer and found something you had completely forgotten about?
Oh, wow. Honestly, last weekend, I opened my desk drawer and there was a birthday card from a friend 3 years old.
See, that is exactly the feeling I want to start with today. I had almost the same moment last week, an old letter way at the back.
Letters are the worst in the best way. You sit down to clean and you end up reading for an hour.
Today, we have 3 stories that share that same energy, things that came up to the top when no one was actively looking for them.
Oh, I love that frame. Stuff that just shows up.
First, a giant shopping event that decided to show up earlier this year.
A shopping event that moves around. That already sounds suspicious.
Then, something much older, plates and chandeliers from a ship that sank around 270 years ago.
Wait, plates that old actually coming back up? That gave me goosebumps.
And finally, a new kind of customer that luxury brands suddenly cannot stop talking about.
A new kind of customer. I can already feel a marketing pivot coming.
Real quick, if you are new here, welcome. We turn world news into short cafe chats every weekday. Hit subscribe and the like button so you don't miss tomorrow's set.
We're so glad you're here. And honestly, these 3 stories connect in a really fun way once you see it. Today's keyword pulls all 3 together. The word is surface. S-U-R-F-A-C-E. Surface. I love that. Such a quiet word for 3 loud stories. It works as a noun, like the surface of the water, and as a verb, when something rises into view. We're going to use it both ways today. Okay, I'm ready to watch some things float up.
Our first story is from Reuters and CNBC, dated June 2nd. Amazon has moved Prime Day back to June this year, and they're keeping it as a 4-day event.
Wait, June? I feel like this big sale has been a July thing for years.
It really has been a July tradition for a while, so this is a small but very visible shift in the retail calendar.
I want to say I do not pay attention to sales dates, and then immediately I remember I have screenshots of past wish lists, so I do pay attention.
We all secretly do. The headline is so short and clean. Amazon moves Prime Day back to June, keeps it a 4-day event.
Keeps it a 4-day event. That little phrase tells you everything in one breath.
Right. They're nudging the date, but the experience stays the same.
Smart way to put it. Less drama for everyone.
Behind the shift, the reporting points to 2 business reasons. One is capturing early summer demand before people get fully into vacation mode. That makes sense. June paychecks, sunny weather, mood to buy a new fan or a beach chair. The other reason is logistics. Spreading peak shopping a little earlier helps smooth out the warehouse and delivery load. So, the real story is not a flashy launch. It's a calendar adjustment. Exactly. And this is the first way our keyword shows up. The event is something that only fully surfaces once a year, and this year it surfaces a bit earlier than usual.
I see what you did there. The deal doesn't appear, it surfaces. Got it.
Right. The date is nudged, but the event is surfacing for everyone to see. Smart way to put it. Less drama for everyone. There's also a small everyday phrase worth grabbing. Shop early. You hear it on every retail page in early summer. Shop early is one of those phrases that sounds polite, but is really telling you hurry up. A polite urgency. That's honestly the voice of modern retail. Got it. Earlier sale, same 4 days, calmer warehouses, a very calm headline for a very busy month. Story number 2 is dated June 1st, also from Reuters, with a great write-up in Science Norway. Researchers off the coast of Norway have recovered porcelain, chandeliers, and more from an 18th century shipwreck.
Okay, I was halfway through my coffee and this just made me sit up straight. The location is the Skagerrak Strait, a stretch of water between the country's southern coast and Denmark, and the depth is about 600 meters.
600 meters! That is not a casual dive. That is a serious deep-sea operation.
Exactly. And what they pulled up reads like a list from a museum. Blue and white porcelain plates, goblets, textiles, even grain and parts of chandeliers. Grain still readable as grain after 270 years? That kind of preservation is unreal. Cold, deep, dark water can be very kind to objects. Less oxygen, less movement, fewer things eating away at the materials. So the ocean was basically a slow, quiet storage room down there. A very specific kind of storage. The minister responsible, Andreas Bjelland Eriksen, called the find of considerable scientific value. Considerable, quietly important, no fireworks. I love that temperature. That is exactly the weight of it. Not headline grabbing, just genuinely important. That fits this find perfectly. 270 years quietly waiting in the dark. And here's where our keyword does its most literal work. Plates and chandeliers from the 1700s physically rising from 600 meters down to the surface of the ocean. That is the most beautiful version of surface I've ever heard. One more thing to note. The starting port and the destination of the ship are still unknown. Investigators are still trying to figure out the route. So the cargo is here, but the story of where it was going is still missing. That's such a quiet kind of mystery. A floating question mark, basically. And that's part of why the find feels romantic, not just academic. A romantic question mark in the middle of the ocean. I'm going to be thinking about that all day. Our third story is also from June 2nd, reported by Reuters and CNBC. Luxury brands in America are leaning hard into a new customer group. Let me guess. AI money has officially entered the chat. That is pretty much the headline. Luxury brands seek to lure America's AI super rich. AI super rich. 3 words and already I can see the magazine cover. And lure, that almost sounds like fishing to me. You put something shiny out and you wait. The image is not far off. The reporting describes private appointments and ultra-high-end hospitality, especially in New York and Miami. Private appointments. That is shopping where you don't really see the store. Exactly. A quiet room, often by appointment only, sometimes with food and drinks. The actual rack of clothes is almost a side detail. Honestly, that's a vibe I wouldn't mind once in a lifetime just to see how it feels. It's a different game from regular retail. The pace is slower, the conversation is longer, and the prices are obviously higher. It's more like a long dinner than a shopping trip. And the article's language gets fancier, too. They use the phrase ultra-high-end hospitality, which just feels expensive on the page. Ultra-high-end carries its own atmosphere. You can almost taste the champagne in those 3 syllables. There's also a quiet generational shift inside this story. Old money still matters, but a lot of the new spending is coming from people who got rich very recently in tech and AI. Right, so the boutique is suddenly serving 2 completely different generations of money in the same room. Exactly. Where does our keyword come in? Luxury houses have always served wealthy clients, but a new clientele is starting to surface. Right, the money was already there, just somewhere else. Now it's showing up in the front room of the boutique. Exactly. It's a quieter kind of surface than the shipwreck, but the shape is the same. Something that was below the line of sight is now clearly above it. I love that we can use the same word for sale dates, porcelain, and customers. English is doing a lot of work today. So, Lisa, that was a sale event, a shipwreck, and a new luxury customer all in one cup of coffee.
My brain is full, in a good way. I genuinely did not expect Prime Day and an 18th century plate to fit in the same conversation.
That is what the keyword is for. Surface, used 3 ways.
3 completely different surfaces in one morning.
Exactly. The deal surfaces earlier on the calendar, the cargo surfaces from 600 meters, the new customer surfaces in the boutique.
3 completely different shapes, 1 quiet word.
A few language pieces to take with you today. Keep it plus an adjective for staying consistent, and considerable for serious weight without drama.
2 grown-up phrases I can actually use in a real email.
Right. Plus, lure for attracting on purpose, and ultra as a quick way to upgrade any word.
I'm going to try considerable in a normal email this week and see what happens.
I love that. Okay, listeners, here's today's question. Of our 3 stories, which one was your favorite?
Ooh, that's a tough call.
Option A is the early summer sale that moved back to June.
The calendar surprise.
Option B is the 18th century porcelain coming up from 600 meters.
The deep sea time capsule.
Option C is the AI super rich quietly walking into the luxury boutique.
The new customer in the velvet chair.
Drop A, B, or C in the comments and tell us why. We read every single one.
And if something surfaced for you too this week, tell us that. An old photo, an old habit, a song?
Mine, by the way, was the old letter at the back of the drawer. I'm still thinking about who I want to write to next.
Mine was that song on the playlist. I'm gonna keep it on repeat for the weekend.
If you're new here, welcome. We turn real-world news into short cafe chats every morning, so your weekday English stays light. Hit subscribe and the like button so you don't miss tomorrow's set.
And if today's surface theme made you smile, share the video with one friend who also has a drawer they haven't opened in a while.
Have a beautiful Friday, everyone. Take care of yourself and notice what surfaces for you today.
See you in the next cup. Bye.